Hold up, Stede Bonnet was one of history's more curious pirates, often called the gentleman pirate. He was born around 1688 in Bridgetown, Barbados, into a relatively wealthy planter family. When his parents passed, Bonnet inherited a sizable plantation, and you guessed it, and he was raised by a guardian until he became of age. In his early life, he married Mary Allambie in 1709 and had children. He also held positions such as Major in the Militia and Justice of Peace of Barbados. Then in what some historians call perhaps the oddest midlife crisis ever recorded, Bonnet abandoned plantation life, his kids who were all under 5 years old, and turned into piracy in 1717. Unlike typical pirates who seized ships, Bonnet purchased a sloop and named it the Revenge. He loaded it with cannons and hired a crew, offering wages rather than just a share of the plunder. This made him stand out, or perhaps stick out, amongst pirates, many of whom looked like they hadn't met a tailor in years. Yes, I'm judging pirate fashion again. Bonnet's lack of nautical experience quickly became apparent. Early on, he sailed up the Atlantic coast, capturing merchant ships and attempting to make a name for himself. Bonnet was wounded and his ship damaged, so he made his way to the pirate haven of Nassau for repairs and refuge. It was in Nassau that he met the infamous Blackbeard, whose reputation likely outshone Bonnet's confidence, or misplaced confidence. While ill health and injuries kept Bonnet from fully commanding temporarily, he ceded control of his ship to Blackbeard, who then took advantage of his situation. Later, the two pirates cooperated for a time, blockading Charleston in 1718 together, and in other endeavors. Bonnet then accepted a royal pardon offered to pirates in North Carolina and renamed his ship Royal James to conceal its identity, while attempting to keep one foot in piracy and one foot in legality. But as you might have guessed, mixing piracy and legality rarely goes smoothly. He returned to raiding and was eventually cornered by Colonel Williams Wright at Cape Fear in September of 1718 after a lengthy battle. He surrendered, though he pleaded he would up the ship rather than yield, and he was taken to Charleston for trial. Bonnet escaped briefly but was recaptured and ultimately convicted of piracy. On December 10, 1718, he was deleted in Charleston along with some of his crew. Bonnet's legacy is a strange blend of ambition, folly, and legend.